an epic land, the ancient epicenter of commerce. Today we are emerging anew. As India turns 75, let's celebrate the most unique stories of big dreams, big take, and bold minds coming together to build the most unique, modern marvels of engineering to build the unique backbone of a brand new India. Let's go discover what it takes to build India.
India's rivers have birthed one of the world's oldest civilizations. Since time immemorial, people and their goods have traveled across markets, across cultures to build the society we know today. It's our oldest, most natural long distance ride. We revere our rivers as our gods and goddesses. But what if I told you that our rivers are once again bringing a logistics revolution in India? Namaskar, I am Vaibhav Dange. Today, we are going to see the making of India's inland waterways network. Let's go ride the waves of change that will build India.
In the making, brand new multimodal terminals come up across India's longest waterway. Big tech comes to the new navigational lock system at Farakka. National Waterways 1, the Ganga, and National Waterways 2, the Brahmaputra, boost international trade while helping India's people ride the waves of change to a new tomorrow.
Even as India's businesses, India's markets are in the middle of a historic boom, India's economy comes up against a major challenge, the high cost of logistics. But now, our precious life-giving Ma Ganga is at the center of a logistics transformation in India's hinterland.
The world's fastest growing economy is also one of the world's largest economies. In 1999, India's GDP was a little upwards of $450 billion. In less than 20 years, it multiplied by 6 to cross 2.7 trillion US dollars. And it's only been skyrocketing ever since. India's secret? The country is on its way towards becoming a global manufacturing hub. Today, manufacturing is 17% of India's GDP. By 2025, it's likely to hit 25%. By 2030, India will be able to export more than $1 trillion worth of goods. But the stumbling block is India's logistics. Transportation accounts for up to half of India's logistics costs. Freighters move on expensive pathways. With India's freight activity expected to multiply 5 times over by 2050, an urgent intervention is required. The solution? India's 10,000 plus river system. Under the flagship Sagarmala project, India's inland waterways are seeing its biggest expansion yet.
When you develop the National Waterways, then definitely this gives access to our businessmen, to our traders. Because when you move by road, there are a lot of congestion and a lot of pollution. When you ship over to the kind of waterways and coastal shipping, there will be no endangers of this kind of accident, less pollution. So I believe this is very much eco-friendly and cost-saving. So this is how we are trying to promote this particular mode of transportation.
A cost-effective and environment-friendly network that nature has virtually already half built for us. Strengthening inland waterways is faster and more economical than developing the already congested road and rail network. And now, India's 14,500 plus kilometers of navigable waterways are getting a 1,000 crore rupee boost. Cargo movement on India's waterways has already reached an all-time high of 108.79 million tons, a 30% growth from just the year before. A logistics transformation has already begun.
In the China, the logistic cost is 8%. In European countries, it is 12%. And USA also, it is 12 to 14%. But in our country, it goes to 16 to 18%. Now, for example, if going by road, the cost is 10 rupees. Going by railway is 6 rupees. Going by waterways is only 1 rupees.
The starting point of this overhaul, the development of India's longest national waterway on the Ganga. A 1,620 long waterway from Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj to West Bengal's Haldia.
We have major projects in this National Waterway 1. We have 3 terminals presently, and they have a large transport potential, and we are dredging this and also using the other terminals, additional terminals which are available, and trying to improve the transportation and connecting the production centers from Varanasi, North UP, North Bihar, also Nepal, to the Haldia port.
Varanasi, India's spiritual center, one of India's oldest cities. Varanasi's iconic ghats are now bearing witness to the Inland Waterways Authority of India's most futuristic initiative. This brand new 170 crore rupees MMT or multimodal terminal is in the home stretch. Final trial runs to help the terminal run like a well-oiled machine. These 17-meter-tall mobile harbour cranes can move up to 50 metric tons of containers as well as bulk materials at a time with equal ease.
The vertical fluctuation of the water in river Ganges is about 10 to 11 meters. So this crane is capable of taking cargo from the ship, which is 10 meters below the berth level, and it can take it back.
A vital gateway connecting North India to the east, the terminal will process 1.26 million tons of cargo a year, all of which will move through the waters as well as National Highways 2 and 7, along with the upcoming dedicated freight corridor. Almost 370 nautical miles away, this 280 plus crore rupee multimodal terminal at Sahibganj is specially tailored to move Jharkhand's mine and mineral produce from the terminal to the waters and into the world's markets. From the yard, all these stone chips will move on to this conveyor belt and into ship storage area without any human intervention. The multimodal terminal will process a whopping 3 million tons of cargo a year. Boon for Jharkhand's mining industries, Jharkhand's economy, Jharkhand's people.
These two multimodal terminals are a peek into a larger endeavor to build towards multimodal logistics transport in India, with India's waterways as the backbone. With new rail and road networks connecting these high-capacity multimodal terminals, India's National Waterways 1 The mighty Ganga is all set to be a game changer for India's hinterland. Rivers are temperamental, constantly changing with the turn of the calendar. To make India's inland waterways navigable through day and night, through seasons and climatic fluctuations, the Inland Waterways team comes up with creative solutions designed for our river system's unique challenges.
West Bengal, a trade gateway to the entire Southeast and East Asia. The backbone, the crucial 560-kilometer stretch of the National Waterway 1 on the Ganga, stretching between Haldia and Farakka. This 481.37 crore rupee multimodal terminal at Haldia is ready to take on more than 3.08 million tons of cargo a year. But first, the Inland Waterways crew has to get the river ready. The Ganga sees heavy silt and sedimentation, making the job of running India's waterways that much harder.
Rivers spans wider portions during the monsoon season, however narrow portions in the non-monsoon season. And channel blockage creates movement of the vessels, very difficult, and it makes uneconomical and takes a longer time for the movement.
The Inland Waterways team removes or dredges the sedimentation off the river's bed regularly. Widening and, more significantly, deepening the river, and allowing the National Waterways 1 on the Ganga to expand from just 300 to 400 ton cargo vessels all the way to ships bearing up to 2,000 tons of precious cargo. Almost 220 nautical miles away, a little upwards of Haldia, the Inland Waterways team is working on a crucial pathway. At Farakka, the water levels on the Ganga undergo a dramatic change. Ships need a steady stream to navigate the waterway. The Inland Waterways crew is building a brand new navigational lock built to regulate water levels as ships pass. This design is completed with the latest electromechanical hydraulic automatic system. The new navigational lock helps ships up to 110 meters long pass in as little time as 23 minutes, slashing the processing time taken at the older system by more than 5 times. More than 150 nautical miles away, at the GR jetty in Kolkata, fly ash is moving from the yard onto this ship. It's going to travel down to the National Waterway 1, past the international borders and into Bangladesh, where the Ganga turns into the Padma. A crucial ingredient in construction. India has plenty of fly ash, but Bangladesh has little. A brand new trade agreement has caused a major uptick in trade between the two countries via its waterways network. India's Inland Waterways has another international trade gateway, the roaring Brahmaputra. Now, National Waterways 2. The 891-kilometer stretch from Bangladesh's borders all the way till Sadia.
National Waterway 2 is also very important for long movement of over-dimensional traffic. Similarly, the industries in northeastern states, those can transfer their finished product through water transport once we provide proper navigational channel up to the Bangladesh border.
At the Dhubri port, stone chips and other construction materials are loaded onto a ship headed off to Bangladesh. Assam and its sister Meghalaya produce large amounts of construction materials. This is the gateway from where the produce heads off to the world. Today, an average of 5 ships carrying 250 metric tons of cargo each pass on from here to Bangladesh.
Indo-Bangladesh Protocol route, the 6 routes that have been designated there, all on national waterways and waterways in Bangladesh, not only is the quantum of trade growing, but the commodity profile is also changing. So what began with essentially fly ash movement now comprises garments coming from Bangladesh, white goods being moved from India, food grains, container traffic, oil. It is an indestructible highway for me for movement of goods. This is the potential.
This small town is now the epicenter of trade between Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal and India.
Dhubri is also a crucial connection between the northeast and the rest of India via Bangladesh. New protocols are allowing our rivers to connect across markets, across economies, across countries. Majoli, the world's largest river island. It's home to 144 villages and 150,000 Assamese people, surrounded by the mighty Brahmaputra. The river sustains them. The river also poses their biggest challenge. How does one get across, get to schools, colleges, hospitals, jobs, a bigger, better life? The Inland Waterways team has come up with a life-transforming solution.
Majuli, an important center of Neo-Vaishnavism and unique arts and crafts. But getting from Majuli to the nearest town or city meant being dependent on small boats, rickety, unregulated ferries, the weather, and the river's unpredictability. Leaving life very uncertain and unsafe. The Inland Waterways Authority of India flagged off a novel initiative. RoPax, or roll-on roll-off ferries that accommodate freight and passengers. A 30-minute ride across the Brahmaputra, saving the people up to 400 plus kilometers of detour. Hours in daily living, while adding comfort and ability to grow their businesses, to think of more opportunities. Having grown up in Majuli, Trishna cannot believe the transformation.
पहले तो इतना सुविधा नहीं था, रो आने के बाद बहुत सुविधा होता है, टाइम टेबल का मैनेज होता है, बाकी वो पैसे से भी कम होता है, इसलिए रो से बहुत मेरा सुविधा होता है.
With ease in going back and forth, Majuli's tourism industry has exploded, bringing global fame to Majuli's masks, and the RoPax ferries them across to India's markets.
हमारा ट्रांसपोर्ट ही ब्रह्मपुत्र है और रोरो ही हमारा जो ट्रांसपोर्ट का साधन है और इनसे ही हम लोग मार्क्स बाहर ले जाते हैं.
At the Botanical Gardens, a cruise ship is wrapping its trip from Kolkata to Patna and back. A luxurious stay on India's river comes with unique sights and sounds. A new way of looking at India for Indians and those around the world.
This ship is beyond whatever dream you had. It's fantastic. It's a 5-star experience. The rooms are beautiful, the food is amazing, and the staff are second to none. What else can I say? It's just a brilliant, brilliant cruise.
India's river cruises have the potential to skyrocket from a $110 million to $5.5 billion in the coming years.
this wasn't the story of just the Ganga and Brahmaputra. It's a tiny peek into what's to come. There are 106 new national waterways in development across the country to revive the natural navigational routes these rivers offer, riding the waves of change to build a new India.